Hello guys, Sendou here again. First of all, look at my fresh outfit for the others that I'm getting now. Anyway, so today what I wanna do is make a small video on patch 1.4. Gonna do a patch review of sorts. Tell me what I think they succeeded with and what I don't think they did so well with. And maybe credits even so. Just to get started, I'm not gonna go over all the changes. I'm only gonna go over the changes that I think are gonna affect the meta most and are gonna make weapons clearly more used or less used. But I hope to cover as many weapons as possible. And I'm just gonna go down the list, so that's gonna be the order. So first of all, we're gonna probably take a look at the end chap. So end chap was definitely something that you saw used a lot in the ink armor meta, so way back, so to speak, and it kind of fell off when the ink armor was nerfed, and now they're kind of like giving it more buffs to maybe make it more used. And you can see it's pretty, even without any run speed at all, it's still pretty quick for you to shoot and ink the ground like this. But overall, I just can't see this make the weapon that more popular, if that makes sense. Because there's like better alternatives now, maybe, if you want to have that quick ink armor. But definitely, it's nice to see this weapon get buffed. I still think it's a pretty nice weapon. But for example, looking at someone like Nike, he doesn't really believe in the changes, and he played this weapon more than anyone I know. So I'm gonna just trust him on this. But yeah, the biggest change is change to light glass, which means you get like buff to swim speed and run speed 5%, like out of the box, so to speak. And of course the big one that everyone's super excited about, and I'm sure is gonna be a huge impact, the pro changes. So you could even see like Nike switch to pro after the patch, and that's pretty huge. Like, this man has not played pro since 4 days of Splatoon 1, when there wasn't no ranked modes or nothing. No Rainmaker or no squads, nothing. And I definitely can see why he would think that. Like, I think this weapon is more like better for like good aimers and stuff, like people who really can like snap on targets reliably, and so to speak. And the shot velocity, you know, which basically, like, on stream people wondered what this means, but basically what it means is that the shot reaches target 67% faster, which means you don't have to lead your shots as much, which kind of like ties to what I said about this being better weapon for shooter, like good aimers, good shooters. And yeah, definitely I can see pro being played a lot more now. I think point sensor buff, I'm gonna talk about it a bit later, but point sensor buff, and then overall it is just in really nice place for both Forge and the Vanilla Pro, really. And really excited to see where this weapon goes now. I think the changes were really nice for this one. Really drastic changes, but just goes to so that this is needed sometimes. 96, gun like similar range, really. And again, like the 62 change was something I suggested or saw suggested and agreed since like this game was released, basically. So this is definitely like gonna make the weapon more like iconic and, you know, more like different from other weapons. Of course, you know, not the biggest thing ever, and also like the slightly like lessened shot spread is also very nice for this weapon. But overall, the kit is still, I'm not really too convinced by the kit yet. You know, of course, like I can definitely see the value in ink armor even now. But I'm more interested in seeing how 96 Deco is gonna play out, if it really comes out with Splash Wall and Splashdown. So that's really nice to see how it's gonna work out then. Well, I think I should really cover Class Blaster quickly, because this is pretty like significant changes in the end. Just trying to find the edge of the shot. Okay, you can see like kind of like how wide the explosion radius is now. Luna was in the last game the most like you know, widest blaster. You can see like blast radius is insane right now. Like it really is something else right now. I think people really realized like how huge this buff was to Clash. Like in the end, like you have to aim at all. Like you know, this is pretty wide weapon right now. And I especially when I play double duelist, really hard weapon for me to deal with, because you know the fact that they still like this and I can like approach because the hitboxes are way too big. And like range wise, the Clash used to be like the weapon that has really poor range. Well, look at this. Okay, max range. It outranges splatter shot. This wasn't before patch, but now it outranges splatter shot. Like I can't even hit it with I have to do this to hit it. So you know, it's pretty actually big change. The increased blast radius by 14%. So definitely nice to see them looking at the less used weapons. And I don't know if Clash will be used. The kit is still very difficult for the weapon, with the Stingray not really making much sense for like shorter range alternatives that much, but still I'm very happy to see that change. Dynamo. Okay, I quickly talk about this, because honestly, like, so what I did was basically this. When you like stand on like an edge like this and you do this, this spread is supposed to be a bit better, but I saw a comparison video and basically it's nothing. It's not enough to make this weapon like, you know, what it used to be in the glory days, but at least maybe they recognize it's not like in a good place right now. And yeah, hopefully they'll revisit it with some more changes, and then the new kit maybe gives this weapon more like life, because I know Dynamo has a lot of like fans, you know, it's people who really enjoy playing this particular weapon, so hopefully they can give another look to Dynamo. But that was the main buff. Like every roller got the same buff to rolling speed, but this is not really a, you know, thing that you can roll faster. Yeah, like, I don't think anyone's gonna be rolling around much, especially with like something like Dynamo. Definitely like going down. I don't think like most charges were pretty much unchanged, which I expected since they've been so popular in solo. Yeah, there's the change to Gootuber, which honestly probably means this is not the worst weapon in the game. Like it's pretty nice, you can like reposition yourself like this. Like you can charge halfway, and then when they approach, you go back, and then you hit your shots. Like this is actually pretty nice change. So again, I don't think it's enough to make it meta exactly, but still definitely gonna make it something that I'm sure someone will like come out and be really insane at and show the potential to everyone. I'm very excited to see that as well. And really going down, of course, my baby minis battling. You know, of course, huge changes to the mobility, which was one of the like most appealing part of the weapon in Splatoon 1. So now them bringing back that is of course really nice. And also the damage has been helping me a lot in my combat, because like I can, when I like for example get a, you know, some kind of burst bomb hit, it's kind of like slightly more certain to get those kills, and like working with teammates, it's really been helping me in those situations, and also getting more use out of the front speed and so to speak. So yeah, I'm really thinking mini spatting is a good place right now, and I'm excited for the second kit as well, to even get it more use out of it. And if you've been watching my streams, you probably see me play a lot of duelists, and the reason that is pretty simple. So this change is what I suggested back in the day, like just, you know, improving the rolling mechanism, which they did. So it's super fast now for me to like start moving again after dashing around. This wasn't a really thing before. I mean, like, it's only 6 frames, right? So that's not a huge amount, but somehow it just feels more than it is really. Like it just feels better. Like it makes more sense to me, like how the dashing mechanism works right now. Like you're not like, you know, super vulnerable just doing one dash. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. And making a global change is a really smart thing. Of course, like custom duelists got more changes, or like duelist cultures, I should say. But overall, it's really nice that they change all dualies like this and the class mechanism, which is kind of the same thing they did to Prella actually. So this has been something that has been played in Japan a lot in Splat zones, even like 2 a team, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. So honestly, it's not the worst thing in weapon in the game. The kit is so good for Splat zones. And you know just how fast you pull out the shield now is just like something else right now. So I think like the changes to Prella were almost too good. Like it's nice that they're looking at the weapon, because like what I tried to say before is that it would be really a shame if all the new weapons aren't very usable or aren't good enough. So for them to bring some nice changes to Prella and Dualis is really like I'm really happy about that. And maybe there's a short period of time where Prella is gonna be overused. But honestly, like I'm sure they will like revisit it on some other patch. And for now, let's just like enjoy. We can see these new weapons being played, and try to figure out how to counter them. Because I think like one main thing about Prella is that it's very different from anything else you have in Splatoon. So I think it's gonna take some while for people to get used to like how to deal with this. Like someone like playing 1v1s like this, and maybe run speed too, so you like glide around the whole place and whatnot. So I think that's like the most significant change to Prella, but one that makes sense. Although I don't think it's enough to make Tenda Prella play too much, unfortunately. It's just kind of like we are the variation of Prella right now, and the kit is not the same. So again, excited to see someone make it work, maybe in some other modes than Splat zones, but right now it's kind of still in a difficult place. Okay, this is one of the nerfs that I really don't agree with at all, that they did. So, Aerospray, inking nerf. It inks way less now, and I just can't see why. Like, you already nerfed Baller, like big nerfs to Baller, make it more audible, decrease the damage it does, or like the radius of damage it does. But then you also like slap a like huge painting nerf to Aerospray, which is like the whole thing this weapon is good for. I just don't understand why. At the same time, they buff like Silver Aerospray, make the special more usable. And then they do this, like I just don't understand why. Like sometimes I feel like they look at a weapon that's overused, and then they nerf one aspect of it, but they're not like happy about it. They also nerf like some other aspect about it, making it like unusable. And that's what I think happened with Trislosser kind of, and I think what happened with this weapon as well. Because it's just not something I can fit in combos as long as it doesn't ink, which it doesn't right now. So final, let's talk about sloshing machine changes, because this is also another weapon that's really popular in Japan right now. Some teams running up to 2 sloshing machines. It's just in a really good place now that Bubble isn't as popular. So the change they did was decrease this slot right here by 20%. It's kind of misleading to say though. Like when you look at this whole trail, it probably like it couldn't have been more than 5% that the overall inking like was decreased, which is essentially like nothing. And it's still like very like insane combats, and also you know the kit Stingray for many maps is really vital, especially Tower Control and Raymaker, but also in Raymaker, as in Japan has been showed that it's really popular, especially in Splat zones. And that's also one of my like gripes. Another gripe with the patch is that they didn't nerf Stingray, which is I think it's not very it's not necessarily the most fun special to play against right now. That's one thing, but also it's clearly more powerful than other specials in my opinion. Like there's really like things you could do with Stingray that would maybe make it less, you know, annoying. Maybe decrease the damage if it's a smack distance, or just just do something about it. Like I don't think it's really in a good place right now. I was pretty surprised to see they didn't nerf it, and that would also like serve as a nerf to sloshing machine. I don't think they need to nerf the main weapon necessarily that much, even if that is also really strong. Just take care of Stingray and things will go all good. Yeah, I think that's the most of the changes I want to talk about, but also about the point sensors. It's really insane how long you can like keep people marked right now if you stack point sensors all the way. I don't think people maybe realize this yet. I wonder if people realize this yet. But if you stack sub power up all the way up, it increases the duration for point sensor. So of course that's gonna be pretty interesting in some scenarios. And it's already been something that we've been doing with Olive with Nike, running a sub power up build, like a 1.1 sub power up, so one main, one sub, and it really like, you know, helps like mark these dummies a long time. Like you can like see like this is this is pretty like next level tracking right now. It's like a small echo. I think like at some point some weapons might even want to run cold-blooded on some stages, because like this really is, I think, pretty incredible right now. What you can do with sub power up and the point sensors. It's like you know, you have like some situations where you can like mark like 3 people or something. It's like a small echo at that point. It's really like incredible. But yeah, I mean, nice to see these changes though. Again, like I wanna see if cold-blooded is gonna be more popular. I could definitely see that happen as well. I don't think the other like changes to gear was like too big, like too significant in terms of changing meta, but I do want to cover the drop roll change at least. So definitely not something that was really popular before the patch, and for a good reason. It was really quite awkward. But right now, what's changed, of course, you can roll in any direction you want now. You can roll back if you want. And also you can like, there's no end, like, which means I can like start charging my weapon right away after the roll, or like shooting, which is pretty big for blasters, where, you know, you can expect people to camp your drops. And like having this option is actually gonna be pretty nice. I'm actually surprised to not see more people run drop roller yet. And I wanna see how it's gonna enter the meta, if it's gonna enter the meta. But again, I think this shows pretty good understanding of them. And good change, good change. Some like special amount changes make sense to me. And also like the last change about the S plus line. I mean, S plus being harder to keep because the OK line is further. Yeah, that makes sense. So overall, let's keep this patch a real grade. You can see my handwriting soon enough. If I can find... okay, so... Five. Okay, does it look like a 5? Okay. Oof. Oof. That doesn't look like a 4. Okay, 4 out of 5. That's my grade. That's my grade. And it's not 5 out of 5 because they are a spray nerf and no nerf to Stingray. But overall, really strong patch. Made me have more fun with the game, honestly. Made me play more weapons on it. Like, this is what patches should be all about. Like, encouraging people to actually play more weapons and bringing more weapons into playable state. And yeah, really good patch by Nintendo once again. And I'm excited to see what the future patches will come. So, thanks for watching, and I'll be back again with more content. So, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave me comments if you have anything to say. Okay.